what I want to talk to you about now is how this looks in real life. Like, we have the whole basic system of content to opt-in to email subscribers. What does that actually mean though in terms of real numbers? It's not easy to imagine that you can make a lot of money doing this, and because of all this secrecy, it's this mystery that online business is shrouded behind, it's very hard sometimes to understand what it actually takes to make money. So I thought the best way to show you this would be to give you an example of how it worked for us the first time I did a Freelance Domination launch. Freelance Domination is one of our flagship products. It's a core product, and back a few years ago was our first launch. I started to get serious about the business. I started to really think about how I could monetize it, and we did our first launch. The first thing we should talk about is percentages and conversions. One thing that most people don't really understand is that a certain amount of your readers are going to buy your work, no matter if it's $97 or $997. There's a certain amount of people who will convert every time you sell something, and that's just the rules of life, right? That's just how it works. Now, a question I get all the time is, what is a good conversion percentage, okay? It's kind of a hard question to answer because the answer to that question is the result of a lot of different factors. Everything from the types of emails that you're writing and the copy that you're doing, copywriting, to the systems that you're using, some of the software and tools, how good the product is, if it's a good fit for your audience, if it's the right time, if it's the right price. There's all these things involved in that. And because of that, if you ever ask someone, well, how much money am I gonna make? They might give you a sketchy answer. But it's not because there isn't a good answer, it's just that there are so many factors that are involved in that. Talking basically, at the very basic level, we use 1% as our barometer for like just bottom line success. Like 1% is what you see if you have a half-assed campaign that's done just okay. Whereas it can go up to 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes higher percentage points if you understand your audience, understand the fit, write really well, do great work, and have a great product. When I first launched FLD, I didn't really know any of these factors that contributed to it. I didn't really understand how to do it. I just kind of had a basic understanding of launching an email campaign and doing a product via email. And so because of that, I didn't know what to expect in terms of how many people would buy it either. So I was in the dark. I was kind of in the wilderness. And so let me show you what actually happened the first time we did the FLD launch. So first of all, when we launched the product, we started with about 5,000 subscribers. Which, by the way, guys, if you're looking at that and that's seeming like a lot, I know it certainly seemed like a lot for me in the beginning. It is a good amount of subscribers. It's not the worst thing ever, but in the email game and in the online business game, that number isn't as big as it seems right now. As you keep working at this, guys, you can have a great article, a great podcast, a great YouTube video go not even viral, just have a little bit of mild success and get 1,000 subscribers. I know that sounds hard to reach right now, but with consistency, 5,000 email subscribers is not huge, okay? So we're certainly proud of this. It took us actually about 2 years to get to this number. With the material in the course, you should get there faster, and just don't be intimidated by this, okay? So we started with 5,000 subscribers, okay? The price point we wanted to test at is much lower than it is nowadays. Now FLD is somewhere around, I think it's $2,000 right now, but at the time, we were testing it at $497. And the reason for this is just because we wanted to see if it would sell. And that's a pretty reasonable price for an information product that teaches so much really great stuff and has a lot of good success with it, right? And I didn't really know what to expect in terms of conversion, so it was really hard for me to predict at the time how much money this would make. We had a 5,000 person email list, we had our price picked out. Well, how many of those people were gonna buy? Of the 5,000 people, how many would buy? When I went to go calculate this, in my head, I wanted to take the lowest possible expectation, and I know this isn't the best way of thinking about it, but I didn't want to be disappointed. So I said, you know what? We're just going to say 1% is going to buy it, just to keep our expectations managed. But what ended up happening was 1.5% of people ended up buying the course. And if you think about it, in terms of percentages, 1.5% of anything is not that much. It's a pretty small amount. But when you look at the total number of email subscribers, 5,000, 1.5% of those is 76 people, by the way. So this is like 76 people. Like 75 or 76, right? Now let's do the math. 5,000 people, $497 price point, 1.5%. It's about $38,000 we made our first launch. So you can see, although our email list was pretty small, relatively speaking, our price point was what some people might consider, moderate, and our conversion was pretty low. We still made a lot of money. And this is the power of volume and the multiplicative effect of understanding how to create content that sells, create content that works, and then only having a small fraction of those people buy your product, and the resulting effect is that you can make a lot of money even with a small amount of sales. 76 people paying you $497 is a lot of money. That's someone's yearly salary. But at scale and with volume, it works. And this is how we scale up over time. So you can see we can do the same thing over again, and if we doubled our email subscribers and we did ostensibly the same thing, we would make hopefully the same amount of money, right? Based on all the factors, right? But if we doubled our emails to 10,000, even if we kept the price the same, our revenue would increase. Let's actually do another experiment. Let's say that the next time we launched it, everything improved a little bit. So maybe we moved from 5,000 email subscribers to, maybe 7,500. So that's a, 50% increase. And let's say we got confident in our product and we say, you know what? I want to raise the price too. $997 is a pretty popular price point in the online space, right? And then let's say that we convert at the same percentage, just to be conservative. Well, now that changes all of our numbers up, right? So now let's check this out. We have now 7,500 email subscribers at a $997 price point at 1.5%, which is the same. So let's just do the math. And now we're talking roughly, $113,000, right? So you can see that even just by increasing our numbers a little bit, and then changing our price, this is almost a 3x, this is a 3x return, essentially. So you can see now how the scale starts to work. You start increasing your subscribers, you understand price points, you understand how conversion works, and eventually you start making more and more money. Each lever of this machine works to not just increase the results linearly, but exponentially if you know how to operate the machine. So this is why it works. This is why internet marketing works. This is the overall basics of what happens during an email campaign. And this is why it's so easy to make such a good living off of selling these things. Even if you don't sell a lot of product, the scale makes a huge difference. Honestly, I wish I would have learned this. I wish I would have seen this. This is the only thing I would have needed in college, honestly. This alone, this is the only math you'll fucking need. You don't need anything else besides this. You don't need complicated accounting. You don't need calculus. This is all you need to know. How many subscribers am I getting? What is the price of my thing? How many people are going to buy it? Now imagine if your list was 100,000, which is where ours is at now. And imagine if you were able to get good at your conversion, you doubled it 2 or 3%. How much money would you make then? You now can see how, holy shit. Imagine now you have a 100,000 person email list, your product is $2,000, and people are buying at 2 or 3%. Now the numbers get crazy. They get crazy, So just something to think about, and something that should excite you for your future, should excite you for the potential of what you're about to do. Pretty cool.